Now, before we begin, we like to set the tone in the Gen Z energy. And right now, there are a lot of Gen Z terms going around. We have Omo, we have clock it, we have is banging. There are a lot of words, and maybe you're not familiar with them. So obviously, we're going to teach you. So
Okay.
we want you to describe your work in one of these terms. Some people can say because my work is so cool, it's so cute, or omo, either the bad omo or the good omo, or like clock it because my work is on point. So, which word would you choose to describe your work, the work that you do?
Okay, I will say Omo, my work is good, is on point because I serve humanity.
Okay, ma.
Yeah.
Okay, that's really cool, Kima. So, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take you back in time. We're
Okay.
going to go back to the young Miss Hadiza.
Okay.
We want to see who she really was. So, I want you to just take us back a bit. As a young person, what kind of young person were you?
Okay, as a young person, let me just start by saying when I was growing up, I had a very interesting and eventful childhood. My parents were very supportive and they were very concerned about my education. So when I was growing up, I was determined to go to school, to go through university, and I ended up getting that with the support of my parents.
Oh, wow.
And let me mention that I was the first girl to go to university in my entire family.
Oh, wow.
So it was not an easy task.
Yes.
My father believed in me. He was convinced that I should go to university, but his siblings, the
Did
extended
not.
family, were not so convinced that I should go to university. There was a stigma then that girls who go to university ended up being wayward.
Wayward.
So, but my father believed in me, and we had a pact. I assured him that if he allowed me to go to university, I was not going to be wayward. And that's what happened.
Oh, wow.
And interestingly, I had a senior brother who was just about 2 years and a few months older than me. But we were doing everything together. So I was kind of competing with him. I didn't want him to leave me behind.
As
So
a
wherever
girl.
he was going, as a girl, so wherever he was going, whatever he was doing, I always made sure that we did it together. To the extent that we joined primary school together. I was making a lot of trouble. Whenever my brother was going to school, I would insist that I would also have to go to school. So my father knew the headmaster of the school in our area then. So he had an arrangement with him that he should allow me to start. When it's time for me to be enrolled in class 1, I would then be enrolled. So I was just going as an observer. But by the time my brother was ready to go to class 2 and I was to be enrolled in class 1, I knew everything that the pupils in class 1
already watched, you
I,
paid attention.
I had already participated, I had already paid attention. I could sing all the songs, I could do all the ABCs, 1, 2, 3s. So I was moved along with my brother to class 2.
Oh.
So that's how my journey started.
That's
I was
inspiring.
determined. I finished my first school leaving certificate in Katsina, which is my hometown.
Oh,
I had my secondary school, that's in 1970.
wow, an educated woman in 1970.
Yes, I had my secondary school in Kano Government Girls College, Dala Kano.
Okay.
I graduated in 1974. And I was enrolled in Ahmadu Bello University.
I'm from Ahmadu Bello University.
The famous Ahmadu Bello University.
Yeah.
And
We're naturally ahead.
I graduated in 1978. Wow. Yes, and I did my NYC in 1979. Wow. My first job was with the NTA. I started work with the NTA 1980. I worked there for 10 years. Wow. And then in 1981, I joined the services of the Central Bank as the manager. And I worked there for 21 years. I'm voluntarily retired as a director in
That is
2011.
amazing. That is amazing.
Yes,
Oh, that
and
is
for my
quite the portfolio.
qualification, I did my first degree
Yes,
at
ma'am.
ABU and went back to my alma mater again, ABU, and did my master's there.
Wow.
I did a master's in public administration in 2006. I think
Wow.
2006.
Wow, this is an
So
inspiring journey.
in a nutshell, that's
That's
my
young Hadiza
journey.
is not.
Yeah.
Oh no, she was
Yes.
a lot of things. You wore so
Yes.
many hats during your journey. So, what would you say was one of the major setbacks or the major problems that you faced during your journey as a young person?
To be honest, I didn't have any setback. Like I said, when I was going to the university, there was a lot of opposition from the extended family. But my father believed in me. He felt that I could go to university because I was doing very well in school. So instead of that being a setback, by the time I was doing well and I was through the university, I became a point of reference in the family. So for most of the girls, if they are not serious with their reading, most people will say, don't you like to be like Hadiza?
Oh.
So I didn't have any major setback. My parents were very supportive. They had the knowledge and the exposure to support me to become whatever I wanted to become.
And you were goal oriented, so you were focused.
Yes, I was focused, I was determined, and I said I was in a healthy competition
with your brother.
with
so
my
you had
brother.
to make it work.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Oh, wow, that is so inspiring. I have learned so much in this first few minutes. Okay, so we're going to move to the current. You've gone into the past, so we're going to come back to the future, the present rather. So, what would you say inspires you the most, or inspired you to become this version of yourself?
Okay. At the time I decided to voluntarily retire from the central bank, I started thinking what I could do with my time. And what I had foremost on my mind was to try and give back to society and to also help to uplift women. I have benefited from the society, I've benefited from the education I got, and there weren't many northern educated women that have become relevant or have we only see them, but we hardly get the impact and the relevance of what they have decided to become in life. So my focus was to give back to society, to support women also, to become relevant. So I started thinking of setting up an NGO that will be. So my thinking was to start an NGO that will focus on uplifting the lives of women. I started working with a colleague. We did a lot of research and we were trying to come up with a lot of ideas and business plans that could help us to do that. But when I retired, I disengaged. My colleague was still in service and I was out of service, and I didn't continue with the project alone, but it was there by the side. And as God will have it, my husband joined politics in 2015.
So during that time was when.
So during that time, for me, it was a God-given opportunity to now implement
what
the
you
ideas,
always want,
what I always wanted to do. And when we started, my husband also encouraged me and took a decision that I should deal with the women and while he will deal with the men. So I had a lot of interaction with women groups. I did a lot of tours to discuss with the women groups while talking about the possibility of getting their votes. I was also assessing their needs. So by the time my husband got the mandate to become the governor, I already had a lot of information on the women that I was going to work with. So it was very easy for me to set up an NGO. We call it Bauchi Sustainable Women Economic Empowerment and Peace Initiative. I think we registered in 2016. Mainly, the NGO was set up to be a complementary venture to support the administration of my husband then. But we did it in such a way that it was individually done, and we carried it in such a way that it will be sustainable beyond the life of the administration, beyond the tenure. So we recorded a lot of achievements based on what we have done. Before I started, like I told you, I did a lot of engagements and tours. And I assigned a consultant to do a need assessment survey and a report for us, so that we know, because the women didn't have the same problems, they didn't have the same needs. So we had areas that their main concern was the education of their children. Others, their main concern was income generating skills for them. So we had these need assessment reports based on which we came up with the objectives of the NGO. So the objectives of the NGO then, we went into education of girls, maternal health, empowerment, agriculture, to encourage food security. So we had a lot doing, and we recorded a lot of achievements under the NGO.
Oh, this has been a wonderful journey. I think you answered beyond my question, because if anything, it's your own journey that inspired you to be who you are today. That is
you
powerful.
See, typically, the wives of governors they typically come up with pet projects. But my approach was to come up with an NGO that will be sustainable. So I didn't want
beyond politics.
Yes, I didn't want to call mine a pet project, and it wasn't a pet project. It was an NGO with a focus, with a vision, with a mission, with objectives. That's why we were able to regroup. When we left Bauchi, came back to Abuja, we were in Abuja before I went to Bauchi, so we came back and settled here in Abuja. And in 2000, and I think in 2021, we rebranded. We rebranded. That's how we came up with broad, sustainable women.
So it was no longer just Bauchi.
No longer just Bauchi. We are doing it now to cater for women in rural and urban areas in Nigeria. We reduced our scope, and the vision and mission is the same, but our objectives, we have narrowed down our objectives to cover still women empowerment, programs and activities that will bring sustainable peace in the society.
It's no longer centralized. The objectives are no longer centralized. They are now narrowed down to...
No. Okay. The objectives are centralized, but we have reduced the scope. While we had like 5 objectives, we now reduced it down to 3-4 core objectives.
This has been amazing.
Uplifting the life of the girl child by supporting her to have access to quality education, and then advocacy against gender-based violence. These are the areas that BSWIP is engaged in now.
Oh, wow. This, like I said already, your journey has been a big one, and you have done so many amazing things. And I know that in as much as growing up, you had your goals, right? You had family that was supporting you. But was there any point in this journey that you felt like giving up?
Never. I have never felt like giving up.
Wow.
I've never felt like giving. If anything, any situation I encountered made me more determined to scale and achieve my objectives. I have met a few challenges here and there, but they never deterred me. They made me more determined.
Oh no, young people need to hear this. They need to hear this. Do not give up ever.
Never give up.
Oh, wow.
Never give up. You know, you can fall, but get up and continue your journey.
So it was your goal that kept you going.
Yes. If you remain focused, you keep your eyes on the goal, you will succeed. Part of success is the determination.
Yes.
When you are determined to succeed, you will succeed. No matter the challenges.
Yes.
Of course, there will be challenges, but you will overcome the challenges.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So my next question, in as much as you're giving powerful girl energy, because right now there has not been, you've not shown any weakness in this your journey. But I know that no matter how we like to, portray our journeys, as in as much as we had challenges, you were able to scale, you were able to move past them. When it gets too much, when the work gets too loud, it gets overwhelming, what is one ritual that you perform to just root yourself back into your purpose, root yourself back into your person? It could be maybe reading a book, it could be being alone, it could be taking a walk. But for you personally, what is that one thing that you do when everything gets too much and you want to come back to your person?
Okay, you'll be surprised that when it gets too much, instead of reading a book, taking a walk, my own is to go into isolation, to have that private moment with myself, to do a lot of reflection. So that's how I do my quiet moments. I go into self-reflection, look things over, try to do some analyze situations and come up with solutions for whatever challenges I'm facing. So my alone time also helps me to overcome whatever
it is. Oh,
yes.
This is amazing.
Yes.
So before although we're coming to, in as much as it saddens me that we're coming to the end of this particular segment of POV, I want to know, the people, the first thing they see when they see you is the wife of the former governor of Bauchi State. A lot of these are, obviously it is a misconception, because from what we have learned today, you're much more than that. But what is the one thing that you think people get wrong the most about, the wives of politicians? What is one thing that people don't know? They think they know the truth, but that is not how it is. What is one thing that they often get wrong?
They often get wrong about the wives of
politicians.
politicians.
Yes.
Okay. From my own personal experience, wives of politicians, the ones that I know, the ones that I've interacted with, always have their own personal lives. They have their own personal achievements. So very often it's just by the participation of one's husband as a politician, then you now become the wife of a politician. But before then, they have their own personal lives, they have their own achievements.
They're individuals of themselves.
Exactly. When I was the wife of a governor, in my group, the group of wives of governors, the forum of wives of governors, we had doctors, lawyers, so many professionals, professors, and these are achievements they have acquired before they became wife of politicians. So I don't think it's right to start looking at wife of governors as only wife of governors or wives of politicians. These are self-made women, women that have achieved something in their lives. So that is the
misconception.
The misconception.
Yes.
Probably in the past, I don't know, maybe before my own experience, before my own involvement, maybe in the past, the wives of governors were only wives of politicians, but from my own experience and from the forum I belong to and the forum I belong to and the one I belong to now, every wife of a governor is a self-made person. And majority of them, even while they were wives of governors, were pursuing their own professions. That's the interesting part. We had wives of governors that were going to the theater to perform operations. We had wives of governors that were going to the classroom to lecture as professors. So it's a misconception for people to think if you are a wife of a governor, that
all
is the
that you
be
are.
all and end all of it. No. Most wives of governors are self-made women, women of distinction, women of substance. They have achieved something in their lives.
Yes.
Because that being wife of a governor is not an achievement.
That is not who they are.
That's not who they are. Yes.
Oh, that is amazing. That is amazing. Okay, so we've come to the end of POV, the segment of POV. But before we leave, we'd like to know one thing about the Gen Z, maybe a trend or something that they do, or a quality that they have that you secretly admire about them, but you would not admit it. What is one thing that Gen Z are known for?
Actually, I secretly admire, and I'm not hiding it. The fact that they are social media people, content creators. These are things that are new to us. These are things that we're struggling to learn how to become. So for me, is a positive thing. Is a positive thing. And another thing is, majority of them, I think we got this word from them. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, they like to hustle.
Yeah.
Side hustles.
Yes,
they are
hustles.
side hustles. they like to achieve something by themselves. Yes. So that is something that I openly admire. Yes.
Right. Thank you so much for participating in this segment of POV. We're going to be moving to the next segment now.
Okay.